No, no, it doesn't work. It's awful. Don't buy this. Good evening, everyone. No matter where you might be out there in the big wide world, thanks for joining us on the June Brawn Japan stream. Before we do anything, I thought we'd kick it off by telling you that this is awful. This is Coca-Cola Clear. The premise is basically it's Coke, but without without the colour, I guess. There's no caffeine in it. There's no flavour in it. It's just awful, to be honest. But it's been absolutely everywhere. It's been in social media across the country. It's been in every supermarket I've seen. So I'm going to put it in a new video. I'm going to put it in a new video soon because I think everyone seems to be really amazed with it at the moment. So yeah, just checking that the live stream is working. We are going. Yes, good. Everybody's in. Welcome, guys. Good to see you all. Let me know where you are watching from. I fucked up today. I fucked up because the England game is currently on. I don't even know the score. I think the last time I checked, it was 1-0 to England. So hopefully we're winning. And while I've not been watching, Panama have destroyed us. But yes, let me know in the comment section. Yeah. How you doing? Watching from the Netherlands, Nikki from the Netherlands, Ratsby from Israel, Real Clown, Manila, viewers in the Philippines. That's exciting. Yes, 5-0 after the first half. You are joking. No, I feel like I want to know what the score is. Is it? It can't actually be 5-0. No, I think I think I've been done. But yeah, welcome, guys. This is it's a weird month. We haven't had a lot going on this month. After the first few weeks of Natsuki the movie, this month has it's been a bit of a low profile few weeks. I've just been back from filming with Natsuki. We went to a place called Takayama, as I mentioned in the Patreon post. We went to Takayama and we had the whole earthquake thing. Bless Natsuki. He looked like crap. He had to stand at a station in Tokyo for 5 hours because of the earthquake. It delayed his train. But after that, we got some some filming done. Really, is it actually 5-0 to England? Really, again, I don't know if I'm being had. The thing is, if you're from England, you don't really have high hopes for the England football team. Given the last few years, the England football team's never done that well. So if they've actually done 5-0, great. We're off to a fantastic start to the World Cup. Yes, that's very good news indeed. Going back to that, don't bother trying that. It's awful. I'm going to now replace that with something else. So at the moment, this month in Japan, there's a big thing around clear drinks. I don't know why it's this month specifically, but we've had clear Coke and we've had clear coffee as well. This is Asahi Clear Latte. It's a coffee drink. It's clear. It looks like water, but apparently it tastes like coffee. Kind of works. Yeah, it just tastes like flavored water. But apparently, the reason clear drinks are so popular in Japan at the moment, we've got clear tea, clear coffee, clear Coke. Japanese consumers see clear drinks as being healthy. Apparently, if it's clear, it must be healthy because it looks like water. Bit of a flawed thought process as far as I'm concerned. Because if it's clear, surely it's got lots of artificial crap in it. I mean, this has no caffeine, no calories, and no fat in it, which means to make up for that, it must have some rather dodgy stuff in there. So yeah, I'd avoid it. Anyway, thanks guys for this evening. For the next hour, I'm all yours to question and interrogate. You've sent in lots of good questions, so I'll be reading those out. Have any of you seen Natsuki's new Instagram? Because that's the big thing this month. He started his Instagram 2 weeks ago, and he's already got 13,000 followers, which is like a quarter of the number of followers that I've got. So he's off to a pretty bloody good start. But it's been quite interesting because Natsuki's Instagram, I don't have any involvement in it. We've started letting Natsuki do his own thing, so he manages his own Instagram, and the result is quite amusing because he has if you look at Natsuki's Instagram, look at the comments he leaves underneath. They're just so random and weird. The fact that they're written in what can only be described as not very good English would strongly suggest that it is Natsuki. Let's have a look and see what he's got. But yeah, if you don't follow him on Instagram, do. Oh, there he is. Straight up. First thing on my Instagram. Looking rather handsome there. Working today. How are you, everyone? Thank you. Comments every time. I'm happy. Happy is good. Yes. Yeah. Go follow Natsuki on Instagram. His bizarre pictures and comments will make every day worth living. Yeah, but it's exciting. It's nice to let Natsuki go off and do his own thing finally. I think that's the best thing to come out of Natsuki the movie. Natsuki can finally become the entertainer and the brand he was born to be. Yeah. But what do you think? Do any of you actually follow him on Instagram? Oh wow, it is 5-0 England, says John. Yeah, I'm as surprised as anyone, John. Yeah. Fuck, I can't believe England scored 5-0. I was going to go to a bar before I scheduled the Patreon live show tonight at the time of the England game. I was going to go to a bar down in Sendai and watch it. Thank God I didn't, because it would have just been screaming 5 times in 1 hour. The whole bar would have lit up because lots of people would have been happy about that. Awesome. But yeah, feel free to shoot your questions at me over the next hour. You guys have sent in quite a few questions. Let's see what you've got. As for me, we got a Patreon video coming out tomorrow. The 10 things I learned making Natsuki the movie. That's out tomorrow. And I'm also finishing up my first YouTube video in like 2 or 3 months. I mean, that's shocking, isn't it? It's been that long since a YouTube video. I do feel a sense of guilt over that. Thank God we've got the Tokyo Creative channel, which I've been appearing in quite a lot the last few months. So that's good. But yeah, I feel bad that in doing Natsuki the movie, I had to sideline the channel a bit. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that. The first video we've got this week on the YouTube channel is about just the cycle I've got coming up, and doing the test of this and letting you know if it's good or not. Although now I've ruined it because it's rubbish. So that's a spoiler there. Coca-Cola Clear sucks. But no, the main thing the video is about is talking about the cycle and the next big thing, which I haven't really planned that much of recently. I have been working out a bit, so I do look a little bit thinner as far as I'm concerned. I think I've lost maybe 3 kilograms in the last 2 months. Yeah, about 3 kilograms in the last 2 months. The way I've done that is I've just been careful what I'm drinking. Tokyo Clear, Coca-Cola Clear, no calories. I've been drinking things that don't have calories in. So I've been switching beer with vodka, and I've just been walking. I found if you walk every day for 30 minutes, you lose weight magically. So I've been doing that as well. But yeah, I haven't even started running yet. Hopefully when I start running, the pounds will drop off and I'll become really fit and brilliant. So yeah. Goodbye Coca-Cola sponsorship deal, says John. Yeah, I know. In the video, the first YouTube video coming out next week, I'm pretty savage about this drink. I think any potential sponsorship opportunities with Coca-Cola are about to go up in smoke. Yeah, or Asahi as well, because that clear latte is also pretty shit. So yes. Let's dive into the comments, guys. Will Tokyo Creative appear on Abroad in Japan? Says Jack. How would that even work, Jack? How would Tokyo Creative appear on Abroad in Japan? You mean get Emma, Tokidoki Emma, in a video? I don't know, probably not. The thing I like about Tokyo Creative and the videos I do there is it doesn't require any effort on my part. I literally turn up to Tokyo Creative, which is in Shibuya. I sit there for like half an hour and talk about stuff, and then it's done. I don't even have to edit it. It's magical. I kind of wish Abroad in Japan channel was like that as well, but unfortunately, I have to edit these videos. So yes, that's not good. I have thought about changing my channel name recently, which is a bit of a big deal, I suppose. Casually drop it in there. But yeah, I have thought about changing my channel name though, to something that isn't just Abroad in Japan, because I feel like I can only make videos relating to Japan to some extent. So I'm thinking of changing it to something else, but I'm still on the fence about it. It might happen before the end of the year. What do you reckon on that? Thoughts? Different channel name? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Oh no, I've started drinking it. whenever I drink things doing these live shows, I always do it subconsciously. I just have a drink here and I start sipping on it. And now I've started drinking this. I must admit, the first sip, I thought clear latte, it tastes like crap. But after 3 or 4 sips, it's actually quite refreshing. As you may have seen in previous live shows, I've been drinking Strong Zero, but I've decided I don't like Strong Zero, the Japanese alcoholic alco pop drink that makes you drunk after about 5 sips. I can't drink it anymore, so I'm gonna just not do that. So now I will be drinking just water or clear latte in these live shows. Celeste says you should name your channel Abroad Worldwide. Abroad Worldwide. It's all right. I did name it. I did nearly name Abroad in Japan channel as Abroad the World about 4 years ago. I nearly rebranded to Abroad the World, and then I realised that that name is shit, so I abandoned that idea. Terence says Abroad and/or in Japan. Abroad and/or in Japan. Bit long and cumbersome though, isn't it, Terence? Abroad Traveller, says William. Abroad Traveller? That's not bad. It's one of the better ones out of the 3 so far. Abroad Tube, says Jack. Nah, I don't really want the word tube in there. Don't know what I've never got the obsession with the word tube or YouTube. Abroad Eats, says Kath. Yeah, could do that, given the sheer ridiculous amount of videos that revolve around food. That could work. Abroad Sarcasm. Yeah. Abroad, mostly in Japan, says Stanley. I'm not going to lie, some of these names aren't very good. I think I'm kind of annoyed at myself for naming the second channel, which I never ever use, A Broad Perspective, because I really like that name. I might even steal the name of my second channel and just replace it on the first channel. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Big decisions to be made, but not now. Right, let's dive into your questions. What have you got? Matthew says, with YouTube, Patreon, social media, things you have to do all the time, is there a time where you'd like to just relax and be away from the media? If yes, how do you cope? And that's from Matthew. I must admit, recently, after Natsuki the movie, I did start listening to lots of songs about beaches. A song specifically called "On the Beach," and I've been listening to that on repeat because I listen to it and picture myself sitting on a beach relaxing. So that would be good. I must admit, I forgot to say I'm going to Korea on Tuesday for the first time ever, for like 3 or 4 days for a little holiday. So I do try and go on little holidays. I've never been to Korea. Never been to Korea. Is it good? Is Korea good? Let me know in the comment section, guys. But yeah, Korea is like the last tick box on my list of countries to check out in East Asia. So I'm looking forward to going to Korea. So I try once a month. I do try to have like a little break, a little time away somewhere, whether it's hiding out in the mountains or going back to Yamagata where Natsuki is and catching up with Natsuki. I try and have a few days away. But whilst I do have I do a lot of stuff. I do make a lot of videos and do a lot of stuff. I do try to make time for myself. It's always important to do that. What part of Korea, says Tai Tai? I'm going to Seoul, the one and only Seoul, the capital of South Korea, because it seemed like the best place to naturally go. I must admit, I did hold off going to South Korea. I nearly went last year, but I held off after the whole North Korean thing. Being woken up by a North Korean missile does kind of make you a little bit wary about going to Korea. So I did hold off going to Korea because of that. So yeah. Why are you visiting to Korea, says Celeste? Yeah, just to see a friend. I'm catching up with a friend who is a YouTuber there. And yeah, just pretty much just going and having a look around. I love Korean food. Korean food in Japan is really good. So by that fact, I'm guessing Korean food in general is quite good. So I'm going for the food. I'm going just to check it out. And also there's a direct flight from Sendai to Korea now. So it's really convenient. It's like 2 hours from Sendai to Korea. So convenient. Yeah. Jack says, do you think Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for what he's doing in Korea if it works out? Does Trump deserve a Nobel Peace Prize? I don't think so, Jack. No, I don't think so. I reckon Trump worked out that, I don't know, I think what Trump's doing is very much in his self-interest. I think he's worked out that by being nice to Kim Jong-un, it looks good for him. But I don't know, at the end of the day, he is doing a good thing. I don't know why President Obama didn't try and communicate with Kim Jong-un. So fair play to Trump on that, as much as I don't particularly like him. Are you going to meet Charlotte in Korea? I might be meeting Charlotte in Korea, which is a new name, given that she's no longer in Japan. I might be meeting her, yeah. That would be quite cool. It'd be good to get shown around Seoul by an old friend. And the thing about Charlotte is, I haven't spoken to her in ages, really, but back when she lived in Japan, and she was Charlotte in Japan, I felt like she was a kind of informal colleague. Like a lot of Japan vloggers, I feel like we're all in the same boat in some way or another. So to me, Charlotte was always like a colleague. I'm sure if I told her that, she'd probably be freaked out. But yeah, so I hope she sees me while I'm going there. I hope she shows me around Korea and buys me dinner at the very least. If you're watching this, Charlotte, free dinner, please. She's not watching this. She's definitely not. Rodman. Dennis Rodman deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Definitely. Dennis Rodman deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. I would, if Dennis Rodman won the Nobel Peace Prize, that would be the best thing ever. Just seeing him on stage, that would be just priceless. Next question. Ratsby, who's in the comment section here, says, hey, I still haven't figured out if the Yakuza are really the bad guys or if they're not. People told me the crime rate in Japan is very low, and a lot of that is thanks to the Yakuza. Can you explain what the Japanese people think of them? Good question. The Yakuza are not the good guys, and if you ask most people about the Yakuza in Japan, they're very ambiguous towards the Yakuza. I think it's because in everyday life you don't really encounter the Yakuza that much unless you're in like certain districts in Tokyo or Osaka. I mean, they're certainly here in Sendai. Every nightlife district in Japan has like a Yakuza presence. I don't know if any of you guys have ever met the Yakuza. If any of you met the Yakuza and you know what they're like, let us know in the comment section. I don't think I've ever met Yakuza, or at least I've never met someone from the Yakuza who was very open about being Yakuza. But they're not good. They lend money to people, and then when people can't afford to pay off that interest rate, they get buggered by the Yakuza. They do dodgy stuff like trafficking. The kind of red light industry, the red light districts in Japan are all controlled by Yakuza. So yeah, they're not really good. But at the same time, yeah, nobody really cares about them. They keep below the radar. They keep kind of hidden away from society. So their presence is not really a thing. The only time you really see them is when there's a festival, like in May. There was a bit of controversy around the Yakuza in Asakusa, the really big popular tourist district in Tokyo, because the Yakuza come out for the festival and they carry floats around, and they wear, well, they kind of show off their tattoos, and they're very open about the fact that they're Yakuza. And whilst it looks quite cool to see Yakuza carrying floats around, and their tattoos look absolutely stunning, there's no doubt about that. It's still, at the same time, it looks a bit dodgy that we kind of, you know, that the public are like, yeah, the Yakuza, even though they're a massive criminal organization. By all accounts, Yakuza are the biggest criminal organization in the world by membership. So yeah, it's a tough one. My boss had a Yakuza girlfriend and hasn't been to Japan since. What? Why? My boss had a Yakuza girlfriend, hasn't been to Japan since. I mean, I know somebody. I do know somebody that dated a Yakuza boss, and apparently he was a bit mental and crazy. But again, you know, I don't judge Yakuza by one person and whatnot. But yeah, that's the Yakuza. Not a whole lot to talk about there, unfortunately. I would like to interview them. I did think about it. I thought about getting in touch with them, but we'll see. Could be quite a cool thing to do. It's on my hit list. I've still got this list of things, right? Of things I want to do in Japan, like cycle across Japan. Another thing on that list is make a video about the Yakuza, interviewing the Yakuza. So yeah, while I'm here in Japan, before I leave in a few years or whatever, it's definitely something I want to do. Definitely. Next question actually fits in quite well. Corey says, how do the people of Japan feel about tattoos? The people of Japan are they're kind of ambivalent. I think if you're in a onsen, if you're in a hot spring and you come in with tattoos and you're not supposed to, you will get people looking at you kind of in a way of disapproval, as if to say, why are you here? You shouldn't be in here if you're wearing tattoos. But yeah, generally, I think people in Japan see tattoos as cool, pretty much like we do in the West, because tattoos, let's face it, they're cool. That's why I haven't got one. I'm not cool, but I do want one someday. Don't know what it would be of. Maybe I'll get like Natsuki's face on my arm. That'd be great. No, I wouldn't do that. Definitely wouldn't do that. I could get the Abroad Japan logo tattooed on my stomach or something. That'd be good. Promote the brand whilst in a hot spring. Tattoo with the Abroad Japan logo. Don't know. Again, I mean, if any of you have ever come to Japan and you've got a tattoo, how's your experience been? Has anything bad come from it? What I do know is, if you work in Japan as a teacher or in anything, and you do have tattoos, you have to keep them concealed. And I had a friend who worked in Shikoku, the island in the south. Really cool guy, but he had tattoos on his arms. And in the summer, when it's like baking hot, he couldn't wear a t-shirt because he had to keep them covered up. So in the summer, I think things were a lot more difficult for him. And also, again, getting in hot springs, always difficult. So interestingly though, Natsuki doesn't have a tattoo, but Ryotaro does. And you think, when you watch the videos, you think, oh, Ryotaro, he's the good boy, and Natsuki's the crazy bad boy, crazy motherfucker kind of character. But no, actually, Ryotaro is the one with the tattoo. And I never know what it is. I always forget. But we made the video back in January or February when we went to a hot spring at like 5 a.m. in the morning. I filmed us talking to the camera in the hot spring, and then afterwards Ryotaro like called me up and he was like, "Oh, make sure the tattoo's concealed in the video." So I had to go through the bloody video and try and like use sort of CGI and special effects to try and remove Ryotaro's tattoo from his fucking arm. So now whenever Ryotaro and I film out in public, I have to keep his tattoo concealed. The reason is he often works with the government, doing stuff with the government. So if they see he's got a tattoo, it might look a little bit dodgy, you know. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate. But I'm surprised Natsuki doesn't have a tattoo. Seems like the sort of thing he'd do, right? Sid Vicious, like on his arm, or like a guitar or something. I'm surprised he hasn't got one. Then again, it's never too late. What about meeting Ken Watanabe? Again, I don't think it's ever going to happen at this rate. It's been 6 years and Ken Watanabe still hasn't popped up. My Pete Donaldson on the podcast, the co-host of the podcast, there's a good chance he'll meet him before he meets me, because Ken Watanabe is doing a play, I think, in the UK at the moment, and Pete Donaldson might have to interview him for that play. So that'd be quite funny and ironic and annoying if Pete Donaldson got to interview Ken Watanabe before me. But hopefully the day will come when I get to meet Ken Watanabe. That's another thing on my tick box, right? Cycle, meet Yakuza, and meet Ken Watanabe. The 3 things on my hit list. I think that's the last 3 things I have yet to do in Japan. I think I've done pretty much everything else I ever wanted to do in Japan. Those are the last 3. Ken Watanabe, Yakuza, Cycle. And at least one of them is going to happen before the end of the year. What we got? Does the Yakuza own or run all the love hotels? Said Tempered Storm. They own a lot of them. The Yakuza, their main industry, or the main source of revenue these days, is the kind of red light industry, red light districts and things, and actually owning property. They own a lot of property, and one of those things they own is love hotels. Yeah, so a lot of the love hotels are owned by Yakuza. Yeah, but don't let that put you off necessarily. It's never stopped me visiting a love hotel. The thing that stopped me visiting a love hotel is the last time I went to one, I found a cockroach in my bed, and I decided never to go to a love hotel again, or at least to go to a better love hotel if I do go to one again. That was horrible. I woke up And I woke up and there was just a cockroach on my bed in the Love Hotel in the morning, and that meant that the cockroach I'd literally been sleeping next to a cockroach, and so yeah, God, I still have nightmares about that. If you do go to a Love Hotel, make sure you go to a good one, not a cheap, crappy one in Shibuya. But they're quite good to stay in, just because they're relatively cheap. If you haven't booked a hotel, just drop into a Love Hotel, because you can't book a Love Hotel. You just turn up, pay like $50, and you've got a room for the night. So yeah, they're pretty good. I have a Triforce tattoo on my wrist. Would I still have to cover it if it's a recognizable logo? Yes, probably. Yeah, you would. You would, unfortunately. Did your teacher friend had to cover the tattoos during time off work as well, or only during the work? Says Bogdan. I think whenever he's kind of around the school area, I think he had to keep them covered up. I think when he was just walking around town doing his own thing, it was fine. But yeah, in front of students, you've got to keep them hidden generally. Stupid. It's a stupid rule, isn't it? Hopefully, it will become less and less significant because of the Olympics. There is actually a website. I can't remember the name. I will promote it on Patreon. I'll find it and put it on Patreon. But you can actually look up onsen hot springs in Tokyo and Japan now, and it will tell you if they're onsen friendly. It'll tell you if they're tattoo friendly. So I'll put that on Patreon. I'll put it in an upcoming post, because that might be pretty useful. It's much needed, to be honest, because there are a lot of hot springs around Japan that allow tattoos. But I'll be damned if I know where they are, and they don't often report. They don't often tell you that that's the case. So, yeah, I'll promote that in a post. I'll write that up. Hey man, says Johnny. Hey man, when you climbed Mount Fuji a few years back, you did it bullet style. Don't know. Apparently that's what bullet style looks like. When and where did you sleep? I ask as I'm bullet climbing and I need to crash when I get to the bottom. Thanks, brother. Well, good luck to you first, Joni, or Johnny. I never know how to pronounce Johnny or Joni with one N. Good luck with the bullet style climbing. I regret doing bullet style climbing in hindsight, because with bullet style climbing, you climb throughout the night and you do it without accommodation typically. So when I did it, and as you can see in the Mount Fuji climbing video, we started at 5 p.m. and then at about we got to the near the top around 10 p.m. and we just hung around and we just froze to death, because it's like -3 at 3,500 meters. It was like -3, right? And we weren't properly wearing the right clothes. We were freezing, and we couldn't get in any of the huts. We did think there was this assumption for myself and my friend George, who joined me on the climb up Mount Fuji. There was an assumption that we would just be able to get into a hut, right, and just stay there. Surely there'd be room. But we got there to the hut, and it was completely full. People literally like sleeping on top of each other in this really tiny space in one of these little huts. So my friend George and I, we slept like on a bench, and we slept on a rock, and it was horrible. And I remember it really well, just because it was so unpleasant. So good luck with the bullet climb. Do take like a jumper. Like, I don't think I took a proper jumper, but like, do make sure you're kitted out with like thermal clothes and stuff, because it's so bloody cold up there. And then yes, be careful. Just and take lots of crisps and stuff. Take Bacardi Sweat. That'll see you through. Good luck. Hello from London. In case you wanted to know, the England current game score is 6-0 to England. Shit, that's awesome. We're gonna win. Yes. That's awesome. Well done. Thanks, Christina. Thanks for letting me know. Poor old Panama. They've got absolutely kicked to death on this one. Unless they come back from the end. How many minutes are left on the game? All right. Next question is from Stanley. Hi, Chris. I'm 20 years old. I've watched your videos for a year and a half, and because of them, I've planned a 2-week visit, and I'll be backpacking through Tohoku this coming September. Oh, you lucky devil. That'd be good. Although September's a little bit rainy, but don't let that put you off. My question is, what other regions are there off the beaten path in Japan that you'd recommend us to visit? I don't know, really. Tohoku. Tohoku's a pretty good start, Stanley. I mean, Tohoku, you could spend like 2 weeks alone in Tohoku just checking it out. I did a podcast a few weeks ago called 2 Weeks More in Japan. And on that, we had an itinerary talking about Tohoku. So check that out. Just scroll down on the Facebook page or on Patreon and go and check that out, because that detailed it quite a lot. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Tohoku is a great region to dive into. I'd go and visit the town where Natsuki lives and where everyone, or where I used to live, which is called Sakata. It's on the west coast, kind of equidistant between Akita and Niigata. It's right in the middle. I'd go and check that place out. It's beautiful, and there's lots to do there. So yeah, go and do a big circle around Tohoku, and then just throw in Tokyo. Go to Tokyo, see the city, embrace the city, and then disappear into Tohoku for like 10 days and backpack around it and have an amazing time. Yeah, good luck though. Good luck, Stanley. Have fun. The sun shines for England in both England and Russia. Yeah. The match is currently in the 74th minute. So 16 minutes. In 16 minutes, this is going to be good. What's the most boring region in Japan, says Bogdan. Christ. The most boring region in Japan is... That's a good question. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, guys? Any of you been to Japan? Boring regions in Japan. Boring region in Japan. I'd say the area between Kobe, between Hyogo Prefecture, and Hiroshima. So basically Okayama Prefecture. Yeah, that region. It's like a 2-hour gap by bullet train, I think. But yeah, between Kobe and Hiroshima on Honshu, there's not a whole lot going on there, as far as I know. So there's nothing there. But really, maybe Wakayama as well. Maybe Wakayama, which is a bit of land between between Nagoya and Kansai. It's famous for where they kill all the dolphins, which is a topic that I've never covered in the videos. Don't intend to. But yeah, that's basically all I know about Wakayama. That's where they kill dolphins. And apparently there's some nice hot springs there. But yeah, I mean, really every place in Japan, there's always something to be found. I mean, I've taken people to Tohoku, and most people love it. Most people love Tohoku. They love the mountains and the rice fields and the kind of the countryside aspect of it all. But I mean, a good friend of mine called Chris Okino, who you may know, he's on Tokyo Creative. He has his own channel. He doesn't really like Tohoku. He says it's boring, but then again, fuck you, Chris Okino. What do you know? Don't listen to Chris Okino. No, honestly, I don't really know that many. Saitama, says Scrublet. Saitama. Yeah, Saitama. Rubbish. Nothing there. Don't go to Saitama. Actually, a lot of the surrounding area around Tokyo is pretty boring. You've got Chiba. There's nothing there. If anybody ever tells you Chiba is good, they're either lying or being bribed by Chiba government. There's nothing in Chiba except Narita Airport. And there's nothing in Saitama. So just avoid those two bits. Literally nothing there. Yeah, done it. Those are the two most boring regions in Japan: Saitama and Chiba, the two places surrounding Tokyo. Are there any activities you recommend to do in Sakata, says Stanley? Go drinking with Natsuki. If you stay at my friend Yuki's accommodation, which is in a video I made called My Favorite Place in Japan, quite a lot of people have actually gone to stay there since I put that place, my friend Yuki's hostel, in the video. And yeah, Yuki actually often shows people around and shows travelers around Sakata. But there's lots to do in Sakata. They've got mummies. There's like some mummies there, which are really terrifying. They're like really eerie, like the ones that I featured in a video last year, which were in Fukushima. Yeah, Sakata has the same kind of mummies. They're horrible, but very well preserved. There's the seafood market by the port. It's really nice. There's some few museums, but in the surrounding area, there's some really good ramen shops. They've got the best ramen that I've ever had in Japan is in Sakata and in that region. So be sure to try the ramen. Yeah. All right, dive into some more questions. What we got? Daniel says, Will you make a video about Osaka? You've mentioned the bridge at Dotonbori several times in some of your videos, but I haven't found a video dedicated to Osaka on your channel yet. Good point. Yeah, I don't know why I've never made a video in Osaka. I've filmed quite a few videos in Osaka, but just never featured them. I don't know why that is, to be honest. Strange, given how much I like Osaka. The first Love Hotel video I made about 3 or 4 years ago now, 3 years ago I think, with my friend Regan. We filmed that in Osaka, where I was in like a, what would you call it, a cell? I was like in a jail cell in our room. That was in Osaka. But yeah, I must admit, I do think I'll make like a series of videos covering Osaka and Kyoto and Kansai. I think I'll do it next year or maybe at the end of this one, because they'd get a lot of views, they'd be pretty popular. And I think I could do a pretty good job of it, because there isn't that many videos actually that are that good that are filmed in Kyoto or Osaka. So it would be good to do them justice. So yeah, maybe at the end of this year or certainly next year, I will dedicate lots of time to making like a video travel series in that part of Japan, in East Japan, and it will go down like a storm. Good ad revenue. Do you plan to be in Japan during the Olympics? Says Tempered Storm. I was in Atlanta during the 1996 games. Yes, I'm that old. Wow, 1996. I was 6 years old at the time. 1 year before the games, landlords tried jacking up the rent. It made a stink on the news. Oh, that's depressing. Well, I guess that won't be an issue here because we've got Airbnb. So hopefully Airbnb will be all right by then. But yeah, I do plan to be in Japan for the Olympics. Like I reckon next year I'll probably move to Tokyo, and then I'll be in Tokyo for like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I'll be around for the Olympics. It'll be crazy, but it'll be fun, and it'll be a hell of an experience. I also feel like, because I missed the Olympics in the UK, because the week the Olympics started in the UK back in 2012, that was the week I came to Japan. So I feel like I just missed the Olympics. So it'd be quite cool to make sure that I'm in Japan this time for the Olympics, and maybe I could do like a video series and cover it at the same time. So that'd be good. Yeah. John says Airbnb is having issues in Japan, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Airbnb in Japan is in a bit of a dodgy position at the moment. Basically, if you have an Airbnb property, you've got to register it with the local government, and the local government is taking a long time to do the paperwork or something like that. So it's causing a lot of problems, and until you got approval from the local government, which is taking a long time, you can't take any bookings. So a lot of Airbnb properties across Japan just couldn't take bookings. They've lost a lot of money, and it caused a lot of uproar. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll be all right, but yeah, it's not a good time to use Airbnb. If you're coming to Japan in the next 3 to 4 months, I wouldn't use Airbnb. Just be careful. Be careful. I'm nearly drunk. Look at that. That's 1/5. I'm a slow drinker, aren't I? As you may have seen in previous abroad in Japan live shows, I'm a very slow drinker, and only 1/5 of it is gone. It's actually, I'm starting to like it. That's quite worrying. I mean, I suppose technically it's not unhealthy. It's got no caffeine and no calories and no fat or no anything. It's just like flavored water. So, Chris, what makes you want to move to Tokyo? I thought you'd try to avoid cities, and especially the biggest one. Yes, that's a very good question. Why would I want to move to Tokyo? The reason is that's where all the things are, unfortunately. I think deep down I've always wanted to try living in Tokyo for a little bit, but that's where there's just opportunities, to network, to meet people. I go to Tokyo anyway, like once a month at the moment, to film or to do things, and it's just not convenient. It's just a bit expensive to do that. So I think it's partly because it'd be fun to live in Tokyo, and it's also partly because that's where a lot of my friends are. That's where a lot of like businesses I'd like to work with are. It's just a lot more convenient to be in Tokyo. So I think, yeah, possibly in a year I might move there, but we'll see. We'll see. Right now, I wouldn't want to though. I still don't like the idea of living in Tokyo because you can't escape the concrete. You know, as I know, as I've said before to you guys and in videos, like I don't enjoy living in Sendai that much compared to where I used to live. Right, when I would walk out my front door and I've got mountains, a volcano, rice fields, the Sea of Japan. It's just so beautiful, and I haven't had that for 2 years now, and it's kind of getting to me a little bit. I miss having mountains on my doorstep. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Tokyo could be quite difficult to live in that regard. How many clear drinks are you going to drink tonight? Says John. Just this one. And I mean, I did drink this one as well, didn't I? And I've got to drink this one. I've got another whole bottle here. This is going to be so the new YouTube video. I'm filming it tomorrow morning, or this bit, the part of the film, the part of the video featuring Coca-Cola Clear. I'm filming that tomorrow, so I haven't opened this one yet. Yeah, don't know what else there is to add to that. Yeah, I might also be getting a drone finally. I think I'm starting to cave in to peer pressure. Ever since I made the Hokkaido video back in March, a lot of people have said to me, "Oh my god, the production quality was so good," and really, I mean, I think it's literally just because there was a drone in it. If it's really that easy to boost my production quality by having a fucking aerial shot for like 5 seconds, then it might be worth just buying a drone and having 5 seconds of footage in every video that I do now. So I'm thinking I'll buy a drone like on Monday or Tuesday, and then all the videos will be amazing because there'll be a drone in every single one. And more importantly, if I do have a drone, it'd be a great thing to satire. I could just have like a really like weird shot of me and Natsuki just sitting on a bench, just going, "Ugh," and then just have the drone whoosh off into the sky or something. Could be good. Don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Should I get a drone? It's definitely growing on me. Starting to feel like this is some sort of sponsored video, sponsored by Asahi. Clear latte. The delicious taste of clear latte. No calories, no caffeine, no anything. Yeah. All right, what have we got in the comments section? What about living in Osaka? It's not that far from Tokyo. Plus, it's considered a cool place, says Bogdan. I used to think about living in Osaka, but it's just too far from all the other stuff that I like and love. I mean, fate placed me in Tohoku, right? And if I lived in Osaka, that's the complete opposite end of Japan. The reason I moved to Sendai is because it's equidistant between where I used to live and Tokyo. So if I move to Osaka, it just blows all that out of the water. And you know, it's still a 2-hour journey from Osaka to Tokyo anyway. So it wouldn't be convenient, unfortunately. But I think I might try if I did go and make a video series in Osaka and in Kansai and in Kyoto. I think I would rent like a Airbnb or something for like a month and just stay there and film loads of videos back to back. And then I'd use the drone because that's what the drone is for. Although maybe you can't use a drone in any Japanese city. So that's another reason I've held off getting the drone. There's a lot of laws and rules around drone use in Japan ever since some dickhead got a drone and like flew it into the Prime Minister's window or something. I can't remember what it was, but there was some incident involving a drone going into the Prime Minister's residence. And ever since then, the reputation of drones in Japan hasn't been so good. So that's another reason I've held off. Get the drone, says Celeste. Feature it as a character when not in use. That's a good idea. I'll just put a face on the drone and it can join the family of characters along with Mr. Snuggles, Natsuki and Ryotaro. Mr. Drone. Sora says, how are you preparing for cycling? Are you going to the gym? You need to get yourself a bike soon. Fair point. Or at least hit the gym's indoor cycle, or you might hurt yourself. If you embark on that journey with little to no training, You might die. Good luck, says Sora. Good point. I did actually have a dream last night that I was cycling, and then I think I crashed and maybe died. I hope it's not a premonition. That would be a terrible way to end. A relatively good year. I am going to buy a bike probably in the second week of August because I'm going to Korea, and I'm also going to Canada for a few days, well, a week, to see some family for a family reunion. So July's a little bit of a busy month. There's going to be a few videos coming out, at least 4 videos, 3 or 4 videos coming out in July. But I'm going to be in Korea and Canada, so it doesn't seem like a good time to have a bike. But yeah, first or second week of August, I'll get the bike and I'll cycle every day, and it'll be fine. Probably. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried. Not gonna lie. I think as I've said before, I'm completely out of my depth on this. I think that's what makes it so fun. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to be careful with the whole cycling thing. Whereabouts in Canada? I'm gonna be in a place called Montreal, which is a city that you probably all know. Yeah, I'm gonna get in Montreal. Got some family there, family reunion. I must admit, I've been to Montreal before, and I'm not so sure about Montreal. It seems all right, but the thing is, I've been to Vancouver, and if you know Canada, you'll know that Vancouver is like the best place ever, and Montreal doesn't have the kind of shiny, excitingness of Vancouver. So yeah, but anyway, I'm still looking forward to going to Canada and eating lots of food in Canada. I don't know what I was going to say. Some national foods from Canada there. Pretend that I know what people eat in Canada, but I don't know what they eat. What do you eat in Canada? People of Canada. That thing with like French fries, poutine or something. Poutine, right? Like the French fries with cheese and stuff on. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, maple syrup. Yeah, good point. Yes, I'll be in Canada and I'll be eating lots of maple syrup and poutine, that's it. There you go. But yeah. Oh no, I'm going to Japan in July finally, and I was hoping to bump into you on a street and give you a handshake and say thank you. Yes, the 1 month that you're here and I'm not here. That's unfortunate. What I will say to you though, Bogdan, who's coming to Japan in July, is it's going to be bloody hot. So I hope you've got a little fan or something to keep you cool, because it's so damn hot. My first month in Japan was in July, and I remember being so overwhelmed by the temperatures here. But good luck. Where are you from, Bogdan? It's Estonia, right? I think you mentioned you're from Estonia, so you might not be prepared for the raging heat of Japan. But yeah, good luck. Have a good trip. Where do you recommend to stay in Sendai? There's a good place called the Bel Air Hotel. I like the hotel. Hotel Bel Air is quite good, and Hotel Daiichi Inn. Hotel Daiichi. It's quite cheap. So yeah, honestly, just go on Booking.com and look for the cheapest one. Look for one that's like 5 minutes from Sendai Station and relatively cheap. And that's all the advice I can give there. There's quite a lot of hotels in Sendai though, and you can get a room for like $30-40 in Sendai compared to Tokyo, where it's like $100. So yeah. Please don't bike alone. Andrew Marston met a lot of minor accidents on his way, considering he's already quite fit. Yes, YouTuber Andrew Marston, Happy in Japan is his channel name. He did the cycle across Japan, didn't he? And I've yet to ask him how it went. I know he made a video about it, but I really should ask him about that. Yeah. Because I ain't prepared for the cycle, and I'm a little bit scared. But I'm going to take like 2 people with me on the cycle. So if I like crash, hopefully I'll be all right. Hopefully it won't be the end. Just that'll be a sad end to the Abroad in Japan channel. Just me laying in a ditch in a rice field somewhere in the middle of nowhere in like Niigata, just dying in a rice field because I've crashed my bicycle. But what a great video it would be. I could live stream it, couldn't I? The last moments of the channel. More questions. If you've got any more questions, guys, do shoot. It is now 11 o'clock. We've been going for an hour, but yeah, do send us questions. Also, how was the score? Oh no, Panama scored. Christina says, 89th minute. The score is 6-1. Shit. Damn, that would have been a beautiful. That would have been a beautiful game. 6-0. Presumably the game's over now, right? Though. How's England done? Don't tell me Panama actually won in the last like 2 minutes. That would, knowing the luck of the England team, I wouldn't be surprised. Dum, 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 dum. Are there any jobs accessible to a foreigner outside of being an English teacher? And that's a question from nobody. Yeah, there's loads of jobs. It's if you want to get a job easily, English teaching is the way in. There's no doubt about that. Like 95% of all jobs in Japan for foreigners are always going to be teaching, unfortunately. But doesn't mean there are other opportunities. There's lots of opportunities popping up in the tourism sector. I have friends working in sectors such as PR, public relations, recruitment consultant, IT, teaching, and teaching. But yeah, mostly teaching. But if you have a skill at something, it's fine. But you might if you work for a big company, you might be able to get placed in Japan. That's another option. But yeah, always try, if you want to get into Japan, the easiest way is teaching and then go from there. That's the way I always recommend to people. So yes, go for that. Dive into some questions, guys. Send in your questions. I will answer them. Starting now. I'm just waiting for the start of the French Grand Prix in 18 minutes. Oh, Christ. It's a busy day for sports, isn't it? Can you post the link of the beach song you've been listening to? I can. You probably know it. It's called On the Beach by Chris Rea. It's quite a nice song. You listen to it and you do feel like you're on a beach, which is, I really need a beach. There's no beaches around here. And I'm a little bit wary of swimming on the coastline this side because of the proximity to Fukushima, which is another thing I actually wanted to talk about, actually. Yes, that's on my hit list. I'm thinking of making a documentary, kind of follow-up documentary. If you may recall, in January or February, I made a video called "What Happened in Japan After the Tsunami," and the video did pretty well. We did well. It got like 400,000 views, and I think it got like 30,000 likes or something. And the response is really good. And I'm thinking about doing a similar one in Fukushima, similar in structure in the sense that I'd be interviewing like 4 or 5 people and hearing the story of different people affected by it. But one of my primary aims is to show people, to show tourists and viewers that Fukushima is safe. It's safe as long as you're not in the fucking nuclear power plant, or like a kilometre or two in that sort of radius around the power station. Fukushima's safe, and that's something I want to kind of get out there and put across. Obviously, if I did do that, I'd have to interview scientists and things because I'm not qualified to talk about that, and I don't want to pretend like I don't want to be like some arrogant YouTuber. I mean, I suppose I am an arrogant YouTuber, but I don't want to be an arrogant YouTuber who pretends like they know what they're talking about when it comes to nuclear facilities and radiation and things. But yeah, that's something I'm really keen on doing. But I'm interested on your feedback, and actually, there's a good chance I would have permission to film in the nuclear facility as well. I have a contact that knows somebody that works the nuclear facility, the plant, and I would be able to go on site and film there as well. So that would be cool, although a little bit scary as well, given it's the second biggest nuclear disaster in human history. So I don't know if I'd be how willing I am to just go and stand around there near it all. But anything for views, anything for YouTube, go and get radiated for that. But anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking of making a video about that. I'm keen to hear your thoughts. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. It is. You know what? I'm not going to buy this again. But it's not the end of the world. I know I painted it earlier as just shit, but yeah, it's growing on me. It's quite dry there. It's quite a dry taste. So It's been 1 hour, guys, but I'll hang around for another 10 minutes. Shoot your questions at me, and I will go through them and answer anything you have, any questions you might have. Is teaching Chinese big business in Japan, says Jack. It is. I think Chinese is probably the second most popular language to learn after Japanese, after English. I think Chinese is up there. So yes, I do think there are Chinese teaching jobs, but I don't know any Chinese teachers who are doing it. But yeah, there are chances, there are opportunities there. Have you got Mario Tennis on the Switch? Says Scrublet. No, I don't. In fact, I haven't played the Switch in like 3 or 4 months now. It's pretty shocking. I've been thinking about getting a PlayStation 4, but I suspect I'll buy it and it'll just sit by the TV and do nothing. So, yeah, there were some pretty cool games that came out. Have you finally watched Isle of Dogs? Says Stanley. I did watch Isle of Dogs, and it was good. Yeah, it was good. I give it an 8 out of 10, probably an 8. It's not his best. It's not Wes Anderson's best film, but it's probably top 3 or 4. The artistic direction is incredible, but I felt the story was a little bit weak, and the characters weren't as memorable as, say, The Grand Budapest Hotel, which is one of my favourite films, or Moonrise Kingdom. But it's a very good film, and yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. Definitely check it out. Isle of Dogs. Full time, the score is 6-1, says Christina. Yes, fucking get in. Yes. It's a shame. I kind of do wish I'd been at a pub drinking and cheering on the team. Like, I know the next time I go and watch a game in a few weeks when England play again, I know England probably won't win and I'll just be really depressed. So that's unfortunate, but oh well. But good. Go England, yeah. Celebrating with my clear latte drink. Woohoo. We're planning a family holiday to Japan in spring 2020 for 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, starting in Sapporo, ending in Okinawa. Any recommendations on top 5 places to visit, says Christina. Depends on how old your kids are, Christina. How old are your kids? I mean, that's a pretty big factor. And you're coming in spring 2020. Wow, it's a big question. I mean, 3 or 4 weeks, you could do the whole country. I would say go to some theme parks, like go to USJ, go to Universal Studios Osaka, go to like Disneyland Tokyo. Kids will love that. Yeah, again, depends on how old the kids are. That's a big factor. Let me know that, and then I'll try answering again. How problematic is it to exchange currencies in Japan, euros to yen? It's not that difficult, but I do recommend doing it at the airport because it's pretty difficult to find other places. Airport. I think that's the only place I know of that does it, actually. Is Ryotaro's job related to tourism? If I'm correct, he's actually helping you connect with people to feature places in Sendai. So I thought it had something to do with tourism. Yeah, Ryotaro is kind of a tourism consultant, but Ryotaro's main job is he goes into companies and he teaches them how to deal with foreign customers. Because if you've traveled around Japan, you'll find that often if you're a foreign customer and you go into a shop, the staff don't speak English, and they do this thing. They kind of just panic sometimes. They see you and they don't know how to react, and they get all scared. It's all awkward. It's a fucking nightmare. Ryotaro is there to try and sort that out, and to teach staff in these shops that even if they use the most rudimentary, basic English, that's still fine. That's good. They should try and just use super duper basic English, and they'll get by with it. So that's what he mainly does. But the way I work with Ryotaro is he's basically like my fixer in many ways. Like I never actually mentioned, but the tsunami video, Ryotaro was with me on that trip, but we both made a conscious decision that the documentary wasn't going to be about us and the way we normally do things. It had to be about the people we were interviewing in the story, right? So I stayed behind the camera mostly. I was only in it like 3 times in the whole documentary, just kind of looking off into the distance like this, looking cool and profound. And Ryotaro just sort of, he was often the cameraman or just hiding behind the scenes, but he found the people that we interviewed for the documentary. Ryotaro found the people, he made the itinerary, and then we went and did it. So yeah, Ryotaro is pretty much the fixer guy, and he's invaluable on those kind of trips because he can, he's really good at talking to people and stuff, and he's really good talking to people. He's just good at sorting stuff out. So yeah, that's mainly how I work with Ryotaro. But yeah, my kids will be 8 and 11 years old, says Christina. Wow, yeah, just go to loads of theme parks. Go to the theme park that I went to with Natsuki in Tochigi Prefecture, just outside Utsunomiya. It's the theme park with Whoopi the Woodpecker. If you look at a video I made called Losing Weight in Japan, week 1, it's in that. It's the best theme park in Japan. There's nobody there, but they've got like 7 roller coasters, and it's amazing. And they rip off Woody the Woodpecker, and it's brilliant. Definitely go there. Can't remember the name of it. Nasu Highland Park. Yeah, go and check out the video though. I mean, that was a really good place. Go to Disney. Go to Universal Studios. Go to Osaka Aquarium. Go to Fox Village. Do your kids like foxes and animals? Fox Village, Cat Island. You can always do that. Go and see the monkeys in Iwatayama Monkey Park in Kyoto. Go and see the deer, the Nara deer, the Nara bowing deer in Nara City. That's quite fun. Go to Rabbit Island as well. Go and see some rabbits. Go to Hiroshima and teach the kids about some history and about atomic bombs and how awful that was. That'll be a pretty eye-opening thing. The Atomic Bomb Museum is probably worth going to. I think if you're 8 years old, I think it's old enough to go in there and still appreciate it. So, yeah, I don't know. Any of you guys have any comments there? What would you do? Where would you take your 8 and 11-year-old kids going to Japan? Robot Restaurant is even an option. Used to be Robot Restaurant in Shinjuku, really big tourism spot. Like foreign tourists love it, and I do recommend it just because it's so much fun. It's so crazy and wacky, and it is kid friendly. The last time I checked, didn't used to be kid friendly. It used to be some sort of scantily clad cabaret show, and for my money, it was a bit more interesting back then. But yeah, kids love it. Go to Robot Restaurant in Tokyo. Yeah, I think there's some good places there. So I've listed off stuff. Basically, anything with animals, anything with a theme park, and a bit of history. Atomic bomb museums. Yeah, the kids will love it. And Okinawa. I mean, if you're going to Okinawa, I'm envious because even I want to go back to Okinawa. The beaches are so good. Yeah, you'll have a great trip though. Thanks, Christina, for your help giving me the score as well throughout this live show. You've been invaluable. I hope me giving you advice for your trip has been of similar use. But also, I mean, just check out the videos on the channel. We've covered a lot of stuff going between Hokkaido to Tokyo. That sort of stretch of Japan we've covered in so many videos. So hopefully there's some useful stuff on there. Odd Dino says, did you find any issues transferring from a job in the UK to Jet? No. What kind of issues are we talking about? What kind of issues do you foresee happening? I'm not sure when to tell my boss that I'm planning on doing Jet. Tell them like when you get the job for Jet, tell them then if you get it. I mean, if you do get it, you get told that you're going on you've got the place on Jet. You get told in March or April. So and you go in August, right? So you've got what, 4 or 5 months there. That's more than enough time to tell your boss that you're disappearing, right? So yeah, but don't leave it to the last minute. Depends what kind of job you've got. As for me, I didn't have any issues because I did have a job, but it was actually working at the university where I was studying, and they knew that I was going to. I told them I was going to Japan or planned to go to Japan at least 1 year before I left university, just because it was always part of my plan to like travel Asia and stuff. So that wasn't really an issue. Yeah. Still only halfway. This is dreadful. I'll tell you what. I'll do what I normally do. I'll end this podcast when I finish the drink. Seems like a fair trade. That's what I normally do, isn't it? Well, it took like 3 hours last time, if I recall. That's strong zero, but yeah. All right. But do shoot with your questions, guys. Let me know if you've got more questions. Dive into the comment section. Shoot away. I will be reading. I'll be reading primarily out of the comment section now. So throw whatever you've got at me. Go. Is it okay to book the Robot Restaurant 2 weeks ahead, or does it have massive queues? You have to book Robot Restaurant, so always do it online. Make sure you do it at least 2 weeks in advance. And the best website to do it, if I recall, is called Japan I Can or Japanican. It's literally Japan I Can, all one word, .com. And yeah, they have a discount on Robot Restaurant, if I recall, if you book it online. If you do get a Robot Restaurant, don't get the food. You can choose if you get a meal there, which is just this shitty bento thing. Don't get that. It's a waste of money. Eat before or after, but don't, for the love of God, if you're going to a Robot Restaurant, don't eat the food. Just take a drink. My sister will be in Japan during New Year's, and she was wondering, how do foreigners celebrate New Year's in Japan, and will shops generally be open? I celebrated my New Year's in Japan by I've only been in Japan for New Year's, I think twice. Is that really true? Twice? I think I've only been in Japan twice for New Year's. Every other time I run away. And that's because for most people working in Japan, the New Year's holiday is one of the longest holidays in the Japanese calendar. And as you may well know, getting a holiday or getting time off in Japan is a fucking nightmare. You don't get much holiday leave at all. So a lot of foreigners, that's mostly when they all disappear and go overseas. And the ones that don't go overseas, they just sort of travel around. My first New Year's in Japan, and I've talked about it before, I went to Nagano, the city in the middle of the Japanese Alps. I went to Nagano and I just went around with a friend, and we just bumped into some really cool Japanese guys who just took us on a bar crawl. It was so random. We were in 7-Eleven and there was me and my friend Luke, and yeah, we just struck up a conversation with these two kind of hip Japanese guys, basically like a younger version of Natsuki. If you imagine Natsuki when he was like 28, that's pretty much who we met, him and another guy. And they took us on a bar crawl around the whole of Nagano, and it was just so amazing. That was one of my favorite New Year's ever, probably. And the year after that, I did nothing. I remember I sat inside with my girlfriend, Japanese girlfriend at the time. We sat inside, and I think we just drank and chatted. I don't even remember. It was that crap. Yeah. But every other New Year's since then, I've usually either gone back to the UK or I've travelled somewhere like Hong Kong. This year I went to Hong Kong. So yeah, get away basically. Mate, I tried the cow piss. I tweeted at you yesterday. Bloody lovely, says Gary. Yeah. What would you rate cow piss on a scale of 1 to 10? Was it the carbonated one, or was it just the cow piss water, which is just like flat stuff? The cow piss water is a bit dodgy, but the fizzy one's all right. I can't remember what you tweeted. I can't remember which one it was. But I must admit, even I've started drinking a lot of cow piss. That, I suppose, to American listeners, what I've just said sounds really awkward and weird. But yeah, even I've started drinking a lot of cow piss because it tastes really great. Please don't cut this out the video and use it somewhere out of context, because that would go down badly. But I do drink at least 1 bottle a week, I think, on average. Although who knows, I might be replacing the delicious taste of cow piss with the delicious taste of clear latte Asahi, available in shops throughout Japan. But it leaves a horrible dry taste in your mouth. I'm starting to go off it, in all truth. All right, what we got? Where in Sendai is that market where you will present your coupon to get a side dish for your rice? Says Tai Tai. That market is not in Sendai. It's in Aomori City, unfortunately, which is quite a bit further away from Sendai than you'd like. It's like 2 hours north of Sendai by bullet train, and that's the Nokedon market or something. Yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, it's in Aomori City, unfortunately. Definitely worth visiting though. Where we got more questions? Does McDonald's Japan currently have something very special? Is that what does that mean? Does McDonald's Japan currently have something very special? Like what? Have I missed something? What's going on at McDonald's Japan that I don't know about? It's not some sort of another. I'm fed up of promoting McDonald's Japan and all their crazy menu items. I feel like I've promoted McDonald's Japan so much over the years and got nothing in return. Like I thought by now McDonald's would have got in touch and offered me like a job to like work for McDonald's as their head of marketing or something. But no, still hasn't happened. Rubbish. Have you seen Deadpool 2 yet? Says Real Clown. I have seen Deadpool 2. It was all right. There was some really funny moments, but the only problem with Deadpool 2 was whenever there was a serious bit, it was kind of ruined by the fact I was still laughing from a previous joke. So, I mean, there were bits in Deadpool 2 that you are supposed to take seriously, but I couldn't do it because of the humor. And another problem with Deadpool 2 is, yeah, there's some funny stuff, like really cool stuff, but the jokes come on so much. There's so many jokes, and actually, I'd say like 25% of the jokes are funny, and the rest of the jokes are just kind of not funny. They're just a bit shit, and so that's a problem. That annoyed me a little bit. I think I'd probably prefer Deadpool 1, maybe. There's only so many times you can break the fourth wall, I think, before a video or before a film doesn't work that well. So that's my criticism. I'd give Deadpool 2 a 7 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10, and I'd give the first Deadpool an 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, guys? Deadpool 2. Everybody seems to have seen it. I still haven't seen Han Solo, the movie, though. That still hasn't come out in Japan. How shit is that? Like, we've got to wait another week before Han Solo story, whatever it's called, Han Solo's story comes out, and yeah, I'm a bit annoyed about that. So, stupid Japanese cinema. Too much fourth wall breaking, says Kath. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Where else have you visited in the US besides Seattle? Are there any other US cities that interest you? Says Tempered Storm. As I mentioned in a Twitter post not that long ago, I keep hearing that song, that West Virginia song by John Denver, and I don't know why it's everywhere at the moment. I've heard it in like 4 different films and 2 video games, and I want to know why am I hearing that West Virginia song, Go Home Country Roads or something. Country Roads, take me home, right? So I kind of want to go to West Virginia now and just have a look around, because I feel like I should, after listening to that song by John Denver so many times. I'd like to go to New York. I'd like to go to Seattle again. I feel like I didn't really see much of Seattle. I'd like to go to LA for a little bit and have a look around. I feel like you have to go to LA at least once, given how infamous it is. I'd like to go to San Francisco. I'd like to go to Washington. I'd like to go to Chicago. I must admit, I'd like to go to quite a lot of American cities. I'd like to spend like a month or 2 just driving around it, to be honest. And it's something I'll do one day, abroad in America. And thinking about it, that could actually do quite well. I think Americans would be quite interested to see a British guy's perspective of America. I don't know. What do you think about that? Could that be the sequel to the channel? Could work, actually. That could work really well, actually, in hindsight. Abroad in America. No. Abroad in America. I won't rule it out. Abroad in North America. Checking out America. But I do want to go to America. Straight after Natsuki the movie was finished, Natsuki said to me, he said, oh yeah, he rang me up literally a day after Natsuki the movie came out. He said, oh my God, it's doing so well. It's brilliant. Yeah, that means we must be doing Natsuki the movie 2 now. Yeah, let's go to New York next month. And I was like, yeah, Natsuki, how about fuck off? Like, I've just finished editing for like 3 months. I like the way this is a pretend phone. Natsuki, I've just finished editing Natsuki the Movie 1. It took like 3 months, and I never want to edit a thing again for like a year. So he was really up for it. He's really keen for it, and maybe next year we could do it. I don't think I'd do Natsuki the Movie 2, but I think we could do like a series of videos traveling around America. The main problem is Natsuki doesn't have any free time. Like, even if he did come to America, it'd be like 1 week, and that just isn't enough at all. If we went to America, we'd probably have to only visit 2 cities. I think there'd only be time for 2. One would be New York, and the other would probably be Hollywood or LA. Hollywood. It'd be Los Angeles. We can make it work, but it'd be a shame if I could convince Natsuki. If Natsuki came to me tomorrow afternoon and said, "Chris, I can take a month off if we can travel around America," I'd say, yeah, I'd probably say yes. Yeah, I'd say yes. I'd say yes. But the fact is, for 1 week, it's a lot of money to go to New York and LA. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll do it. We'll see. But given most of the viewers on the Abroad Japan channel are American, it would kind of make sense, I guess. Oh. Back into the comments. Real Clown says 7 out of 10 for Deadpool 2. I'll take it. Kim says I prefer the first Deadpool as well, but I love the post credits from Deadpool 2. Yeah, the post credit scenes were pretty funny. I can't deny that. They did break the fourth wall, but they were pretty funny. By the way, I saw that people in Japan reacted very well for their win in the Football World Cup. Do people discuss it a lot? Yeah. The trouble is, when Japan wins the World Cup or wins a football game or wins anything, they won't shut up about it. The whole media is ignited, and they don't stop talking about it. It's really weird. It's like the best way I can describe it is like a really unpopular kid at a birthday party, and they're like sitting in the corner on their own, and then they like get invited to the party, and they like people like, yeah, come over, unpopular kid, come and join in the party, and they're like really happy, and they go a bit crazy because they're so excited to be at the party now. And Japan's like that. They have that sort of they go over the top with their reaction to winning a game, one game. And that's it. Upcoming podcast with Pete and I think next week or the one after, we talked about that. We talked about Japan's response, and one thing they did is, you probably read about it, but after they won the game, the Japanese spectators in the stadium in Russia, they cleared up the stadium. They all went around and tidied up the stadium and put the rubbish in the bin, all that stuff. So, yeah, I suppose if Japan does win, a lot of cleaners in a stadium in Russia are very happy because it's a lot of time saved for them because the Japanese spectators tidy it up for them. Fair play to them, though. Make your second channel, Abroad Perspective, your main channel, says Kath. Could do that, couldn't I? I feel like the Abroad Perspective channel is like a neglected son. If Abroad Japan channel is my firstborn son, Abroad Perspective is like my forgotten son, who I've just like my illegitimate forgotten son, who I haven't spoken to in 1 year now. So lots of analogies involving kids at birthday parties and forgotten sons. No, it's a shame. I need to do something about that. I need to put something on there. But yeah, it could become the first channel. But I think if I ever did, I think I'd have to just rename the Abroad Japan channel to like Chris Abroad. I think it'd just be Chris Abroad or something like that, or Abroad Perspective. I don't know. Something to think about. The good thing about the US is you'd have a lot of fixers for all the major cities. Exactly, we would. That's quite cool. Like we could do a meetup in just about every city in America, I think, and there would be people there. So that's quite exciting, but also scary. I haven't done that many meetups. I've done like 3 meetups, I think, and it's always pretty intimidating because speaking to one person is always a bit, you feel like, oh, this is a bit strange speaking to someone who knows who I am, but I never met them. That's a bit odd. But then doing that when you're surrounded by 30 people, which I have done at least 2 or 3 times, is terrifying because you have to engage lots of people at once, and It's very different from doing a YouTube video, right? A lot of people think doing a YouTube video somehow prepares you for for those situations and talking to loads of people, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. If you meet most YouTubers, they're incredibly awkward when you meet them in real life. They're like, they don't know what's going on. They're really awkward. I mean, they're people that make their money and then make their living from sitting on their bed all day, filming themselves talking. So it shouldn't be much of a surprise, really. But yeah, a lot of YouTubers, they're pretty awkward. I don't think I'm awkward, probably, but yeah, it would be scary but exhilarating traveling to every major city in America, doing a fan meetup. Would be quite fun. Natsuki in the USA sounds good. No one ever goes to the Netherlands, says Kim Bleak. A bleak outlook there from Kim Bleak about no one ever going to the Netherlands. I must admit I've never been to the Netherlands, but it's on my hit list. Loads of people go to the Netherlands. Isn't that where Amsterdam is? Hmm? Everyone loves the Netherlands. Natsuki across the USA. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of you guys seem pretty up for that. Natsuki in the USA. Would you ever do a live stream on your main channel just for fun? Says Jack. Yeah, I might do. I have thought about it recently. The main reason up until now why I haven't done a live stream on the main YouTube channel is, first of all, what if it goes wrong? You know, fucking terrifying. This is fine. I mean, the most I've ever had on Patreon is like 50, 60 people. There's not that many today. It's about 30 today of you guys, because there's football games on, there's all Grand Prix on, it's Sunday. I don't do this normally on Sunday. I try and do it on Saturday, so apologies for that. But yeah, no, doing it on YouTube though, we could be talking a few thousand people watching it live, and yeah, it would be quite scary. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'll do it though. But another reason I've done it is because I didn't want to. I felt a bit wrong, you know, because I'd like to do live shows on Patreon. So that's another reason I haven't done it. You know, takes away some of the magic from doing live streams on Patreon. Yeah, maybe abroad if no one comes up with this, says Jack. Abroad. It could work. I think it'd be. It sounds like a bit of a tongue twister though, doesn't it? What do you do, Chris? I have a YouTube channel. It's called Abroad. I don't know if it probably it wouldn't go down that well. I feel abroad. It would be chaos in the comment section if you did a YouTube live stream on YouTube on your main channel. Here you have time to read us, but there would be like thousands of people commenting and spamming. Yeah, I know, it'd be absolutely chaos. Could be quite profitable though, because with literally thousands of people commenting, maybe people would do that super chat thing, which is, I can't believe people do that, but where you pay money to have your comment boosted on a thread for like 10 seconds or something ridiculous. Never understood super chat, but I could do that. Super chat. Abroad Chronicles. Yeah. Abroad Chronicles. We've had a lot of names tonight, a lot of potential names from you guys about what the channel could potentially be renamed. Only thing is, none of them have been particularly great. No offense. I think you'll probably agree with me on that. Yeah, Abroad is probably the leading candidate for the renaming of the channel. But yeah, you need a name people can spell right just from hearing. Abroad would sound like abroad. Exactly, Odd Dino. Yeah. Got to get the Google searchability. Yeah, I know, right? 10,000 people doing super chat and 10,000 comments boosted, says Real Clown. Yes, that would pretty much fund the whole trip round America 5 times with Natsuki if we did do that. That could be interesting, couldn't it? Doing a live stream and using the revenue from that to fund the trip around America. See, the thing is, another reason Natsuki can't get the time off is if he's not at work, as well as that looking bad for his business, he's not making money, right? Because he's not working with customers. And I think, like a lot of owners, Natsuki's got a little bit of debt to pay off because he has a business that he owns and he's got to pay off debt. So he has to keep making revenue. So if I did take him around America, I'd have to try and get some sort of fund together to cover the cost, like the missed revenue that he would not make from traveling around America. And that's the main hurdle, I think. So maybe if I just did Super Chat for like a whole day, a whole live stream of me and Natsuki, one day in a room, drinking and eating things for like a whole day, maybe we can make enough money from that and all the Super Chat posts and things that could just fund the whole trip. But I don't know. I don't know how much is a Super Chat. Do you know? Because I haven't a clue. I don't know. There's someone who did a live stream of himself sleeping, and he earned $5,000 from Super Chats. What? What? Fuck. $5,000 from Super Chats for a guy sleeping. Wow, we might actually be able to fund the trip to America after all. Just film Natsuki asleep in a live stream every day for a week, and perfect. Job done, right? I must admit, that would be quite fun. That would be quite interesting. One of the things I want to do this year is just do crazy, stupid, weird shit, like cycling, right? Like suicidal cycling for a month. But I'm also keen to just try new things, and doing an all-night live stream with Natsuki could be just the ticket, and it could be the ticket to America. Well done, Jack. This sounds incredible, says Jack. I'm glad I suggested live stream. Super Chat can be whatever the person wants it to be. Sounds like you've been placed here by YouTube, Jack, to promote Super Chat. What? So you choose the amount of money you spend on the Super Chat thing, right? You just choose. The person types the amount in. Fuck me, really? Wow. So the problem with Super Chat is though, you don't get rewarded for it, really, do you? Your name gets boosted for like 10 seconds, but you're not getting rewarded. So I think I'd be more tempted to do like a Kickstarter or something. Natsuki could get a Twitch channel and just show him in his shop during the day. Could do. Natsuki cutting his hair, doing a Twitch channel. Perfect. Why not? Yeah. You give me some things to thought. You've given me some things to think about, though. So don't be surprised if there's a live stream on Twitch or Super Chat sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. But yeah, like I said before, I'm not thinking about what comes next until the cycle's done, right? The trick is to always finish a major project and then do the next one after that. Right now, I'll be damned if I'm thinking about making another Natsuki the movie or doing anything like that. Yeah. Jack's your favourite guy, says Kath. Yeah, Jack is quite good. Well done, Jack. Cheers. And I finished it, which means the live show is pretty much over. Thank you to everyone for watching and joining us this week. If you have any last minute questions, quick, type now. Type things now. Type. I'll answer. And as for the next live stream, it'll be sometime in the 2nd or 3rd week of August. No, it won't. Sorry, it'll be the 2nd. I keep forgetting what month it is. It is June, right? Yeah. Sorry, it'll be the 2nd or 3rd week of July. So that's when that'll be. Tomorrow we've got the 10 things I learned from making Natsuki the movie video out on Patreon. So keep an eye out for that. It's about 15 minutes long, I think. 15, 20 minutes. And in that, I just sort of talk about all the stuff I learned and all the nightmare that it was making Natsuki the movie. And then after that, I'll be drawing a line under Natsuki the movie, and I won't ever talk about it again. I'll be winding down Natsuki the movie discussions. So yeah, but keep an eye out for that. And then obviously YouTube video as well next week. So yes. Oh, I might be watching your next live stream from Sapporo, says Bogdan. Yeah, that'd be cool. Good luck with your trip, Bogdan, to Japan. Have a good one. Don't hesitate to drop me a line on Patreon if you have any questions about your trip. Yeah. Make a video of Natsuki cutting your hair, says Stanley. Natsuki doesn't cut my hair, does he? It's actually his nice, lovely wife Asami. She does the hair cutting. Natsuki does the hair dyeing. Natsuki's specialty is like hair dyeing. He's not actually that good at cutting hair. He's the hair dye guy, and hair dyeing is really big business in Japan, because everyone's hair is black. If it's not black, it's grey. Like when people turn 40 in Japan, their hair all goes grey. So dyeing hair is big business, and that's where Natsuki comes in. What's Natsuki's favourite beer? Says Celeste. Natsuki's favourite beer is, I think it's Kirin. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's Kirin. Yeah, there's Asahi, Kirin, and Sapporo, the big three. My favourite is Sapporo, followed by Kirin, and Asahi I don't really like. It just tastes like fizzy water. It tastes like flavoured carbonated water, basically. Yeah. I live in Archway. And I was gutted I didn't bump into you guys. Archway? Where's Archway? Archway? What's Archway? But yeah. Anything else I want to add? Anything else I want to mention? Yes, and then after the next YouTube video where I'll be talking about the cycle, we've got the Pachinko video, which actually includes Natsuki, and I'm really excited about that video because it's an interesting topic. I've always wanted to cover it. We were really lucky to get permission to film in the Pachinko parlor, because Pachinko is basically gambling, and they don't like people filming in there because it's like the same atmosphere as a casino. But we were really lucky to film in there, and it's a fun video. Natsuki has like half an hour. He gets 1,000 pachinko balls, and he has half an hour to see if he can turn that into more pachinko balls, which you then convert into a prize. And I won't spoil it, but that was fun. And yeah, I think it'd be quite a good video. And yeah, you should win an autographed photo of Natsuki. You should run a competition on your channel to win something, like a Nintendo Wii or a trip. Get people engaged, says Jack. Another brilliant idea, Jack. Well done. I would cheers again, but I've already drunk this. But yeah, no, I have actually thought about doing a competition recently. I don't know what the competition prize would be. As Celeste just says, win an autographed photo of Natsuki. A lot of people would like that, but I think a lot of people would like something a bit more tangible. Maybe that could be part of the prize. But yeah, I have thought about doing some competition stuff recently. The only thing is I've seen a lot of competitions that social media influencers do or YouTubers do, often a little bit tacky and a little bit crap. So if I did do something, it'd have to be good, like a free helicopter ride to the top of Mount Fuji. That could be a great prize, something like that. That'd be cool. The great Abroad Japan giveaway. Another thing to think about in between cycling and doing live streams. But for now, guys, I'm going to end things. We're going to wrap things up. Thanks for joining. I'll see you tomorrow in a new video, and later in the week in another video, and then next week in a Pachinko video, and then again after that in a live video. So lots of stuff coming back in July, lots of content coming out in July. Sorry for a quiet June. I know June's been a bit of a letdown in terms of content on the channel, but we've had content on Patreon, we've had content on Tokyo Creative, and we finally had Natsuki the movie. So yes, I suppose June has been an all right month in hindsight. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for joining me this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If there's anything I want you to take away from this, it is avoid that. Again, Tokyo Clear. Why do I keep calling that Tokyo Clear? Avoid Coca-Cola Clear, and consider this. It's all right. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. Give that like a 3 out of 10. Yeah. But for now, guys, have a great weekend. Wherever you might be out there in the big wide world, thanks for joining, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good evening. God bless. I am off now to edit things over there in the corner. That's where my desk is. Sitting alone in the corner at my desk, drinking my clear latte drink. Except I won't, because I've finished it. But I've still got some of this left.